So recently, Disneyland laid off 28,000 employees in Southern California. Everybody looked at Bob Iger, the executive chairman of the board. How dare you lay off 28,000 people in Disney? These are people that need jobs. They're feeding their families, their kids. But what if I told you it wasn't Disney's fault? What if I told you it was Governor Newsom who laid off 28,000 people? Because today, we're going to measure two parks. One is Disneyland, based out of California. The other one is Disney World, based out of Florida. Both same company, two different states. What kind of decisions were made simply based on politics? You know, a lot of times capitalism gets a black eye. All these people that all they care about is money. You know, they let people go. They have no feelings. They're cold-blooded people. These capitalists, they don't really care about the families that are working very hard. But many times they're forced to make decisions. Because for me, I say, never judge politicians. I don't sit there and say, Barack Obama this, Donald Trump this, Bush this, Clinton this, Newsom this, DeSantis this, but always judge politicians' policies. One more time, never judge politicians, but always judge their policies, because what do their policies produce? We got California, we got Florida here. Disneyland is in Orange County, California. Disney World is in Orange County, Florida, right? It's funny, Orange County. This one's Orlando, this one's Orange County, Southern California, Santa Ana, Anaheim area, right? Okay, the governor of California is Governor Gavin Newsom. The governor of Florida is Governor Ron DeSantis. California is over-regulation friendly. They're all about over-regulating. So when the COVID happened, they're like, no, we got to over-regulate. You can't go out. You can't go to restaurants. Close down restaurants. If the top's not open, you can't go out there and eat. Regulation. Florida is business friendly. They're like, listen, we got to figure out a way to make sure these businesses last, because if they don't, we're going to have a big problem here. So what happens to Disneyland in California? They closed on March 14th. Disney World closed on March 15th. They closed one day after. Remember, same CEO, Bob Chapek, I believe is the CEO's name. Same CEO, same everything, but two separate states. Two separate states, same CEO, right? They closed on the 14th. They closed on the 15th. They're still closed. 200 days later, Disneyland in California is still closed till today. I believe Disneyland started in July 17, 1955, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, July 17, 1955. Do you know since 1955, that's 65 years ago, do you know how many days total Disneyland's ever been closed in 65 years? You ready? 5 days. Let me say this one more time. Only 5 days have they ever been closed since 1955. Now they've been closed over 200 days under the leadership of Governor Newsom. These guys, Disney World officially opened up. Magic Kingdom opened up July 11th. Animal Kingdom opened up July 11th as well. Epcot and Hollywood Studios opened up July 15th. Let's continue. So now watch this. This is very important for people to understand the optics of what a Disneyland or a Disney World does to your state if you're the governor. Ready? Disneyland. There was a study done back in 2018 by Cal State Fullerton, funded by Disney, but Cal State Fullerton did the study, and they came up with a conclusion that in 2018 alone, Disneyland generated $8.5 billion of economic activity plus 78,000 jobs. Let me say this one more time. Disneyland has 78,000 employees in the state of California that work for them and created $8.5 billion of economic activity. Now watch this. This is just one-dimensional, right? We don't look at how many vendors, partners, other people that are making money. So it's not just 78,000 jobs. That's probably 300,000 jobs that we're talking about that people are making money off of this. But this is 78,000 employees working for them. Forget about the contract with Pepsi, Coca-Cola, drinks, bread, all this stuff that's being delivered. Nope. That's just Disney, what they're doing for the state of California. Now Florida, watch this. The CFO of Florida, Chief Economist Officer of Florida, does an audit and says Disney World alone has 77,000 jobs created in the state of Florida, and their sales revenue sales tax revenue that came to the state of Florida alone is $700 million. Let me say this one more time. Just the sales revenue from taxes, from sales tax, is $700 million. Can you imagine if you're the governor of Florida, you're saying, man, we love Disney World. If you're the governor of California, man, we love Disneyland. Don't you want to make sure these things stick around? But not Governor Newsom. Watch what Newsom did on October 1st. On October 1st, this is just a few weeks ago, California Governor Newsom announced that they will not be opening any theme parks. They're not going to be opening any theme parks. 2 hours after he announced this, Bob Iger, the former 15-year CEO of Disney, now the current executive chairman of the board, resigns from their economic team that had put together the task force, resigns 2 hours later, and then Disney announces they're letting go of 28,000 jobs in the state of California. Disney. Some people say, Disney, Bob Iger, such greedy people. Nope, it was a byproduct of the governor. Governor is the reason why they had to let go of 20,000 people. By the way, people have to realize this. Bob Iger is not a Republican. Bob Iger is a Democrat. If you read his book, Bob Iger, at the end of his book, when he sits down, I believe, with the leader of Fox at the time, and they were getting ready to buy Fox, and the Fox leader, I think it's Murdoch, I don't know which one it is, Murdoch asks him, do you have any plans of running for office? And he was actually thinking about running for office. He said, I don't have any plans of running for office. Bob Iger is a Democrat because of his family, his mom and dad. He was a Democrat because of his parents. He's loyal to his parents' policies, and he stuck to it. 2 Democrats go head to head. Newsom, Democrat. Iger, Democrat. Wait a minute, what are you doing? You put me to create jobs and make sure California moves ahead, but you're making this thing keep going? What do I can keep paying these people a policy income. Boom, 28,000 people get fired 2 hours after the announcement that's made. So that's these guys. Now watch what Newsom said. Here's what Newsom said about Bob Iger and Bob Chapek's decision from Disney. Newsom said, there's disagreements in terms of opening a major theme park. We're going to be led by health first framework, and we're going to be stubborn about it. When he said, we have differences with me and Bob Iger. Can you imagine? We're going to be stubborn about it. 28,000 people lost a job because of Bob Iger, and because of Governor Newsom. Now, some people may say, well, Pat, what are you trying to say? Should they open it up? Should they leave it open? Should they bring the jobs back? Here's what you have to understand with these 2 stories right here, okay? Both states that we're talking about. They did another research here saying the fact that 87 million people around the world come to Disney World every year. In 2019 was 87 million people. The same number is close to here. Can you imagine how these 2 brands, the kind of money and the kind of people they're attracting to their states? There was one entrepreneur who owns a pizza shop in both of these cities, in Orlando by Disney World and in Anaheim by Disneyland, named Daryl Maliki. Daryl Maliki owns pizza shops. He says his pizza shop near Disneyland is down 90%. His pizza shop near Disney World is only down 30%. This one is staying open. This one's about to close down. He's making no money. He's frustrated, saying, listen, I understand protecting the people out there, but you got to give us an opportunity to survive as business owners as well. This whole thing I shared with you, the article was written by Wall Street Journal. We're going to put the link below for you to read. But when you watch this here, I will tell you, if I'm Bob Iger, if I'm the executive chairman of, say, Disney, and I'm sitting there saying, recently, we just saw NBA come out and say, Black Lives Matter, BLM everywhere, on the floor, everywhere it says BLM, 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 advertisement after advertisement after advertisement, vote, vote, vote. And NBA is known as predominantly push everything to one side. NBA is not necessarily Republican. They're very Democratic. You can't go, I've never seen a player in the NBA being able to get away with wearing a MAGA hat. I've never seen it. If you're in the NBA, you have to be on one side. If you're in the NFL, at least a Brady can say, I'm friends with Trump and get criticized for it, but he is. You know, and in MLB, same thing, but in NBA, it's all one-sided, right? So viewership dropped 64%. People are now watching the finals. But do you know what's the interesting thing about the NBA? Watch this here. Do you know which state the NBA decided to have their playoffs, which state they put the bubble in? Did they put it in Anaheim, California, very left-driven state? Or did they put it in Orlando? Why did they put it in Orlando? Oh, because Orlando is not like Newsom, overregulate. Orlando said, you can come and do the NBA playoffs here. Can you imagine if the NBA wanted to do that here? The amount of regulation. So all the policies that they support are policies of Newsom, yet they create the NBA league in the state of Florida because it's more business friendly, and the NBA is a business. They're trying to get their business going. They can't do it in the state of California, but they can do it in the state of Florida. As a person who's a registered independent, myself, I have voted for Clintons and I voted on the right. And I voted on both sides of policies for myself. I see things on one side that needs to be rearranged, and I see things on one side. But if there's one thing I'm not a fan of, it's contradiction and hypocrisy. And you see a lot of that in the state of California. I've lived there for 24 years. Here's some feedback. If anybody from Bob Iger's camp is watching this, if some of you guys decide to tweet this at Bob Iger, I've read his book, I've recommended it. I think everybody in the world needs to read his book. Anybody and everybody. If you've not read his book, you need to read it. Put the link below as well for his book if you haven't read it yet. But I will tell you this. If I'm Bob Iger, if I'm Disney, and I'm watching this, and I'm sick of what the politics and the policies of California are producing, because you got to judge policies. Policies, 28,000 jobs. Policies, park open, 87 million people around the world come to Orlando. Imagine what that does to the city of Orlando. If you own a simple shop over there, a hotel, a restaurant, you don't think that benefits you? That benefits you. But if Bob Iger and anybody from the Disney's campus watching this, you know what my recommendation is to you, Mr. Bob Iger, or Bob Chapek, or any one of you guys. Here's my recommendation to you. There is a state right next to you. I think it's called Nevada. And Nevada just got the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders. When I think about Raiders, I think about Oakland or LA. I don't think about any other state. But the Raiders went to Nevada. And they're going to be attracting a lot of players. I don't know how well they're going to do this season. I like their coach, but they're probably going to end up doing very well. You know why? No taxes. So what if a Disneyland makes a massive announcement saying, we're spending a few $1 billion building a park. There's a lot of land over there in Vegas. You buy a couple thousand acres of land. You decide you're building a Disneyland in Vegas coming out 5 years from now, and you launch it. No taxes. You get tax break. You negotiate all this stuff for 20 years for what you want to do. Vegas is a tourist city. Vegas is becoming a kind of place now families are going to it. It's not just a place that only young party people go to it. And now you got a Disneyland over there, and you don't pay taxes, and regulation is going to be on your side. I tell you one thing, Governor Newsom, you just better hope Disney doesn't hear this message. And you better hope Disney doesn't buy into this message, because if they do, you're about to lose Disneyland due to your policies that keep pushing business people out. That's what happened to the state of California, a state I love. I love the state of California, but I cannot stand the policies that are being pushed in the state of California, where it's getting all these people that at a time like this, when you're going through crisis, you know what, sometimes I got my 2 boys sitting right here next to me. I got my 7-year-old, what's your name? Dylan. And I got my 8-year-old, what's her name? Patrick. These guys, we went to LA to go to Universal Studios. They just want to go to Universal Studios. At times like this, kids just want to go to a park. You mean to tell me you couldn't come up with a better policy to have more hand sanitizers and testing and measurements to allow people to go to a park? You mean to tell me you couldn't do something like that? You mean to tell me you can't say, well, listen, we're going to open up Disneyland, but when you come in, extra measures. Maybe you have to get tested for COVID within whatever time. Consumers would spend the money to get tested to go do it. We would spend the money because we need entertainment for our kids. And you're saying no to it. Is it politics you're playing? Are you making policies that are good for families? So what's more important to you, Governor Newsom? Policies or families? What is it? Make up your mind. Because if it's truly families, you're losing your own people. Bob Iger is a Democrat. Bob Iger was a fan of Obama. Bob Iger was somebody that's helped a lot of people on your side out, and you're losing a person like that. 2 hours later, he resigns. That's a wrong kind of person to lose in the state of California. I hope that somebody from Vegas, Nevada, if I'm the governor of Nevada, I'm making one phone call. Hey, Bob, can we talk? Yes. Can we get you and another Bob on the call, both of you? Yes. How much longer you want to be bullied by politicians in the state of California? Do you think this is going to change anytime soon? No. Well, why don't we look at Vegas? Come and take a look at to see what we can do. Look at Raiders. Go talk to the Raiders owners, see if they're happy. Why don't we make something work over here for you? No state taxes. No crazy regulation. What do you want to do? Let's make this work. Oh, if that even happens, if you ever see this announcement happen that Disneyland is considering a move to Vegas, don't forget this video when it was shot. If that ever happens, I hope this message goes to the right people, because California keeps bullying business owners, and eventually, if you lose your #1 employee, you already lost your #1 podcaster in the world. You already lost your #1 innovator, visionary in the world. You know what his name is. And if you lose your #1 employer, you cannot keep #1s. You become a country and a state, essentially it's a country, 5th biggest economy. You can only keep yes people. You can't keep leaders like a Joe, like an Elon, and a Bob. If you lose the third one, which is Disney World, massive exodus around the corner. So look, if you're watching and saying, Pat, I totally disagree with you, great, I want to hear from you. Comment below. Pat, I fully agree with you. Comment below. Send me a tweet. Let me know if you disagree or agree. I'm not really worried if you agree with me. I want to hear your argument for both sides. Having said that, 2 other videos I want you to watch if you're enjoying this message here. One of them is 10 reasons why I support capitalism. If you've not watched, it's a complete different angle I give. Click over here to watch it. The other one is 10 reasons for you to consider moving to a different state. If you've not watched either one of these, click on that. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.